Hey, people that are listening to this podcast. My name is Isaiah Hernandez, and welcome to the Swarm Podcast. We're going to be talking about this topic, the dead boy beneath the waters. Let me start off. Here on the big island of Hawaii is a village known as Takana. Quiet, humble, and community-orientated, an outside observer would never guess that this little village was a site of a tragedy which still haunts the children of the village today. A couple of neighborhood kids were playing on the shore of a pond that they were forbidden to go to, when one of them fell in and disappeared beneath the surface of the water. The kids rushed to find help, but the boy did not resurface. Divers hurried into the water to look for the lost boy. When they did find the boy's body, they were disturbed by what they saw. The dead boy at the very bottom of the pond. He was sitting calmly upon a rock, with his arms by his side. His mouth and eyes were open. It was as if he sunk to the bottom, sat on a rock, and waited to die. His body was swaying back and forth with the currents. The divers retrieved the corpse, and everybody tried to forget about the strange and tragic death that had occurred. Shore of the pond complained that something would tug at the bottom of their pants as they walked. Rumors spread that the boy's spirit was still trapped beneath the dark waters of the pond, and tried to pull unsuspecting victims into his watery grave. Years later, another boy was explicitly dragged into the pond. He was walking behind his father when something pulled him in. He shouted to his father, but it was too late. The force had pulled him beneath the surface. When divers went to retrieve them, the boy was found perched on a rock, eyes open and arms relaxed at his sides. Unfortunately, this boy was rescued and revived. Nowadays, children are warned to avoid this pond. Who knows when the spirit will become restless once again and calm another young life. The drowned boy refused to let them forget. However, people who traveled on the shore of this pond complained that something would tug at the bottom of their pants as they walked. Rumors spread that the boy's spirit was still trapped beneath the dark waters of the pond, as tries to pull unsuspecting victims in his watery grave. Those who were present at the second accident swear that another boy was pulled into the water against his will. It was the noon hour. He was walking about 50 yards behind his father along the edge of the pond, occasionally picking up a flat stone to skim across the water. As he fell, he clawed at the earth, trying to hold on, to fight back. But in what it seemed like an instant, the force tugging his legs, pulling him into the watery depths of the pond. By the time the young boy's body has been located, it was found sitting naturally upon a rock on the bottom of the pond. He seemed so natural sitting there, arms explicitly at his sides, eyes and mouth open, swaying gently to and fro in the light current. Fortunately, the rescuers were able to bring him to the surface in time to be rescued. Will the Takana boy ever find his peace? A Shido priest was yet from Hilo to bless the pond so that the haunting cries finally ceased. Yet on the particular dark nights when the evening sky seemed bathed in black ink, those who lived closest to the pond will say that sometimes they heard the Takana boy's cry. Was it Melkany or sinister? No one knows. Alright, that's it for this podcast. Again, my name is Isaiah Hernandez, and this will be it for this episode.